the past 57 years. I'll start with Mr. Abbey on this conversation.
Well, thank you very much. It's a very interesting development in Togo, and one may look at this from different perspectives. Now, for instance, when you take it from the perspective of a sovereign state, I mean, every sovereign state has the right, the mandate, to fundamentally determine how the people are governed. But again, that right, the exercise of that right is also governed by procedure. And so if as a state, as a nation, you want to decide that, listen, this is how we think we want to be governed, or this is the democratic vehicle we would want to use to deliver the public good to the people, that procedure in itself is governed by law. And sometimes the law makes it very expansive for everybody to be part of the determination of that vehicle or that process that would lead to the delivery of the public good. And so one would say from that perspective, of course, as a sovereign state, I mean, Togo has the right or the mandate to decide fundamentally how you govern or you run the state. But again, there is also the issue about benchmarking this to democratic standards, because we are in a global democratic village where expectations are that the governance of a society, the governance of a country should be hinged on democratic values and principles. And that is where when you begin to tick the box, then you raise some concerns or some issues that clearly would make the president of Togo be found wanting. Again, when you take it from their constitutional practice or perspective, it appears the president, of course, has the right to do that per their laws. You see, in our system, when you take Ghana's constitution, for instance, we have entrenched positions and then non-entrenched positions. Now, entrenched positions sometimes cover or focus on issues that demand the sovereign will of the people in terms of when a decision ought to be made regarding such provisions or issues that are entrenched in the Constitution. So the Constitution says that you must go for a referendum, for instance, if you want to have any change in the entrenched provisions in the Constitution, Ghana's Constitution. And issues about whether we are going on, I mean, the type of democratic system that you deploy for your country must be entrenched, in my view, such that it shouldn't take a president's pen and paper, or it shouldn't take just ordering parliament just by way of passing a bill into law in parliament to just change how the entire, I mean, governance system or process of a country should go. And for me, that is one of the major challenges. But there are some lessons also that quickly come to mind. So his term actually ends next month. That is what, I mean, I'm reading, I'm learning. And what it means is that the new arrangement, which has just a single term of 6 years, and what it means is that after he exhausts his term next year, 2025, he can actually contest for the next term, which is the next 6 years, as President of the Republic. And you see, even prior to the election, some incidents happened. I am learning that, for instance, was cracked down on civil liberties, freedoms ahead to the elections. Again, election observers were asked not to even come in. A French journalist, I was told in April last year, went to Togo and was arrested because there is a rule that we are not entertaining observers. He was beaten, actually. We are not entertaining observers as far as the election process is concerned. I mean, we know that election observation is a feature of democratic elections today, where everybody basically feels part, a community, it's a whole community enterprise, largely. Everybody is interested in how we are delivering on our public good through the democratic enterprise. And I recall when, for instance, ahead of the 2020 elections, when some were making the case that I think if President Akufo-Addo once even said that the state of Ghana government was going to fund the EC in the 2020 election. I think government did 100%. Yes. And based on that, the argument was made that, well, we may not even need donor. You know, usually when you have partnerships with international community or donors, not that they direct what you do, but they also make sure they checkmate you against democratic standards. So immediately you take them out in terms of their partnership. What it means is that indirectly you are saying, listen, that process of checkmating us against democratic standards, we do not want it. We are going to fund our EC and we'll allow our EC to do whatever the EC likes. And we saw what happened in the 2020 elections and even what is happening now, which I'm sure we are coming to discuss. So when I read about Togo, and of course, these are some of the things that desperate leaders do actually, but they try to hide behind what you call the law. And so someone will say what happened in Togo is legitimate. It's a law that has been passed, and so nobody can contest it whatsoever. But clearly, this is against a democratic standard. And the major question is, to what extent has civil society been involved? To what extent has the general, masses, the people of Togo been involved in this crucial decision of basically changing how the presidents are elected? And he has, I was told, 108 out of
113.
113.
Yeah.
So what that means is that he's having a super majority in Parliament. The seats in Parliament.
Out of
113. So just short of 5, I'm sure, belonging to the opposition. So it's just a rubber stamp process that they are going to go through in the entire, duration for which he's going to be president. And what it also means is that he can use this now to do just anything, and this is problematic. And that is why I am not, of course, an expert in constitutional law. I haven't studied the Togolese constitution, for instance, but that is why in our case, like I mentioned, there's a clear, distinction, entrenched, non-entrenched. Things that you can easily use the route of parliament to change, and things that it's very difficult for you, actually, even in Parliament. Sometimes you need 2/3. There are thresholds that have been set. And again, you even go to the almighty referendum route. But it appears that is not the case in Togo. And for me, it's a call for worry. It's a concern as a West African, as an African, that, you see, and the reason we must equally be very much interested in what is happening in Togo is, you see, apart from the fact that they are neighbors, or they are a neighbor, let me put it that way, incidents of happenings in there sometimes serve as examples for despots, largely, or they think as it's happened in Togo, it can happen elsewhere. I've heard others, for instance, talk about what happened in Nigeria and in their elections, and the possibility that this may be the trend in other countries as well. And for me, Ghanaians must even speak about this. Ghanaians must be concerned about this, because it's just right to our eastern border, largely, and the repercussions, what are they? It's and again, when you read the article I read on that, so aside the single term limit of 6 years, and it's the MPs who, for the next, so after every election of members of Parliament, the Parliament decides who becomes the President of the Republic. And I don't know how that arrangement is going to be done. I was trying to, okay, is it the case of, for instance, in the UK? But UK is different. Of course, they have majority, and then they present a candidate for elections on the national scale. But here it is more of, and I've been struggling to really recollect whether there is any country in the world that is running this model, where you go to Parliament, and then out of Parliament, we just appoint who is a leader. It's dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Well, again, ECOWAS comes in. Again, the African Union comes in. Because clearly, when we sit and allow this to happen, there is always the possibility of other West African leaders, oh, this happened in Togo. Yes, civil society organizations called upon other civil society organizations to come on the streets, Togolese to come on the street, but I mean, nothing happened. It appears there is the usual business is going on, and who knows? By the end of this year, a number of the civil society leaders may have either been arrested in prison or some even bribed into silence, and the system stays. So there is a model right there, which is, I mean, beginning to rear its ugly head. And I think ECOWAS, African Union, citizens must speak against this. This shouldn't happen and given the history of the family dynasty already in Togo, and it's like there is still the intention, we still have the plan and we'll execute it to still stay in power. We were supposed to have discussed Sudan.
Yeah.
Similar things. Usually it's the political economy that leads to the handling of the political economy that leads to crisis. When you're unable to handle it in a way that the interests and aspirations of the citizens, I mean, get captured or find expression, with a matter of time, the system will just burst out, and then there will be issues, there will be challenges, humanitarian crisis like it's happening in Darfur now. So, quickly, we must, as a continent, everybody must talk about this. I mean, I don't know, I've not really observed what is happening in Togo. I don't know to what extent, in terms of the international community, presence in Togo. Something must happen. Something must happen. Right. It's not a good thing.
Right. Thank you very much, Michael. Let me say good morning to Council Andrea Piadankwa, who just joined us. Council, good morning.
Good morning.
I trust you're fine.
I'm doing great yourself.
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Now, let me now turn my attention to Manuel, the New Patriotic Party, to also express opinions on this particular matter with us.
All right, thank you very much, Kwaku. I think my brother here has said almost everything. But I would like to use this opportunity to say good morning to the President of the Republic, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and also the Vice President, who is currently in the Bono region. He has started his campaign, and we are praying that it ends successfully. And good morning to yourself and to my big brothers here and to your viewers. Kwaku, I think that in Africa, when there is no problem, it turns into a situation that we don't like. Anytime African countries want to see problems, we want to see chaos, we want to see violence. I don't know whether that's what we really enjoy. How can you govern a country for the past 20 years? And I think it's left with just a month for you to leave office. And that's when you've decided to amend the constitution and then give yourself more time. What are you hiding? What are you afraid of? I think the best way that Africa should go, if you want to still stay in power, if you want to do any amendment, do it in such a way that you don't have a limit. Maybe we don't, unlike Ghana, we have just 2 terms. Just do it, okay, no, you don't have a limit. But every 4 years, there will be election. I think that's the style of, I think Singapore or Malaysia, one of those countries, that's the system.
I mean, there are some other African countries without term limits.
Yes, so if you have nothing hiding, why amend the constitution? Why should parliament elect you? I just read something, and it's like in Iraq too, does the same process. The MPs elect the president. Personally, in my view, I believe that this is not the right time for Togo to take this route. Amend the constitution and allow the president govern all over again. And then his 20 years of governance, that 20 years do not count. He has the right to be appointed by the MPs again and then govern for another 6 years which I see so unfortunate, that Africa, most of the look at other African countries. Our suffering is not from, I say this, is not from the West, nor the Americans. We are those who all the time bring this kind of hardship to ourselves, because as you've taken this line, an opposition party won't be satisfied with such a decision.
Yeah.
Therefore, it will bring either a war, a coup can just come in. These things are not helping Africa as a country, as a continent. Therefore, I believe that we should take a new route. We should toe a new line. We should be willing to be accountable to our people. That's why I always said I'm proud to be a Ghanaian, no matter what, because no matter what the president is doing, he will always avail himself for the next election.
Yeah.
It's up to you, the ordinary Ghanaian, to take a decision that, oh yes, we want him to continue, or listen, we are tired of you, just go home and let another person come and take over. They should learn from Ghana, and I'm sure that Ghana won't take such a route to do such an evil thing. Because at the end, what the 20 years of governance of what's the name, Nasimbe, how has the lives of Togolese improved? How is there any statistics that has shown that, listen, our lives have really improved? If you've not been able to better the lives of your people, why do you still want to continue governing them? Governance should be by the choice of the people. We believe that you are the one who can lead us, therefore continue with the journey. If we think that you can, we put you aside. Africa should move from this tangent and then to a new line. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Manuel. Let me quickly come to Councillor Pierre Dankwa.
So let's have a good morning. Let me wish your lovely viewers a good morning. When I saw that Michael was coming this morning, I was very excited, because I was certain that the bar will go a notch higher. So always a pleasure to me.
Thank you,
cousin. Company, and my cousin. Yeah, so my former brother, so my Ghanaian brother and former partisan brother. So he's my Ghanaian brother and former partisan brother. Maybe is he like a cousin? Oh no coming back. No coming back. Forget. I must say that I stand on all forces with what my brother said here, especially with what Michael said. I think you already did a good job, especially in terms of trying to bring out the democratic principles that our constitutions ought to capture or show. To what end? To better protect our liberties, our lives, our rights, our aspirations. Because in essence, see, the reason why we take upon constitutions, and you see, there is a philosophical background. I think I've said it here a number of times. So around the 17th, 18th century, when Europe was in the deep throes of feudalism, there was a body of philosophers came. We call them the social contractors, who felt that the best chance of human beings, of ourselves, securing or guaranteeing the protection of our liberties, of our rights, of our lives, was to take upon ourselves a system of governance which is premised on what we call constitutional democracy. And you see, in the essence of constitutional democracy is to limit the powers of government, so that at the end, nobody has so much powers as to even attempt to undermine our liberties, our rights which were given to us by nature itself. People who believe in God will say by God himself. You understand? And so the essence of government is not to give those rights, but is to guarantee those rights. That's why we took upon ourselves a constitution and or democracy. And let me make this differentiation here: constitutional democracy. So a democracy whose focus is to limit government. And so all other concepts like separation of powers, rule of law, judicial review, are all free from this purpose of the purpose for the constitutional democracy. The purpose which is to protect the lives, the liberties of the citizens. So that's the focus. So we tend to use the word democracy loosely. So the fact that people queue and go and elect does not mean that we are practicing democracy. I think I've said it here that even in Ghana, I know that we are quick to point to Ghana as a good example of a democracy. But my personal view is that even in Ghana, we are practicing about a third of what truly is democracy. Because democracy is not just about having a system where we can vote. But democracy also is having a government which is not just of the people, but a government that is also by the people and whose purpose is for the people. And I think Ghana has not been able to achieve the government which includes the people and whose purpose is for the people. So yes, we are doing well, but we have a long way to go, my brother. We have a long way to go if we are to achieve the ends of the democracy. I agree with you, especially when you said it's a very bad precedent for other disports in a part of the world, because Africa has a tendency of copying. You know, we copy. I see people even copy. You know, the guys who make jokes. You can see some people who you can see these guys copying to the letter. You understand? Pastor does jelly girls and you see dinner pastors. So because of the propensity of the West African to copy, then you see when you are starting something which is radical, which is novel, you must have regards to that. So when you create a system, which as in like Togo has done, and has done easily, you understand? Therefore, the first question is that what system are they running? Is there a system which is predicated on the principles of the rule of law or the rule by law? Because there are two different things. The fact that you have laws and people are obeying the laws does not mean that a system is one predicated by the principles of the rule of law. But if there is a president in Ghana who never flouted any law, was Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah, like some of people, he never flouted any law. But some people make an argument that at some point in his governance, it became more of a rule by law as against rule of law. It's an argument some people make. You understand? So that where there are no safeguards, where the president has no limitation, or where parliament itself has no limitation, where there are no checks and balances, and because of it, they can, on the throes of or at the tail end of his government, they can change the law in the manner they've done. Then it means that the people of Togo are not safe. Because one of the focus of a system run by the rule of law is to limit arbitrariness, you understand, to the best minimum. So it shouldn't be easy. As in, people shouldn't be able to do things at a whim. That I feel like this. Oh, how do I perpetuate myself in power? Okay, let's do it. No, you understand. So you deliberately put in place systems that will limit the incidence of people taking decisions based on a whim or arbitrary decisions. And for me, the ease with which they amended this law tells me that there's a serious weakness in the constitution or in the principles that govern how laws are made and laws are applied in Togo. The next question is, so what is the end of what they've just done? Where right now Parliament has because you see what they're running isn't a parliamentary system. And once again, we're a very good job for trying to distinguish that with what happens in the UK. Because you see, the UK ran a parliamentary system. Now, per that system, because in the UK, what is supreme is Parliament. And so per that system, you have the political parties. And that's what you see, when I come, I try to distinguish that in Ghana, contrary to what we think, because we were UK colony and the very first time we did proper, it was a parliamentary system, we always seem to confuse exactly who we are voting for. In Ghana, we think we are voting for the political parties, when really all the political parties do is to sponsor. We are voting for the human beings. But in the UK, really you vote for the political parties in the sense that you vote for, so the parties for choose their leader. the party that has the majority automatically, the leader automatically becomes what? The prime minister, and then the monarch will instruct to bring to her to form his government, which essentially is the cabinet, and then they go. What Togo are proposing is not like happens in the UK. You understand? Because if I understand, they understand to be corrected. So they vote for their MPs, and the MPs amongst themselves will choose who will become the executive. Yeah. And I haven't read that. I don't think the executive or the powers that the executive word can be compared to what the executive was, because there are a lot of, in fact, even in an instance where we said the executive is too powerful, at least there are some small limitations on the executive. I'm damn sure that in Togo, the executive will have unfettered powers. To what end? So then what's the purpose of their constitution? Because if the essence of the purpose of their constitution is to protect the liberties, the rights, you understand, to create a system where they have the best chance of fulfilling their individual ambitions, then there will be safeguards, then there will be limitations. I think this is a classical case of ECOWAS standing up and sounding a loud voice. Because if the commitment of ECOWAS is to protect the rights of the citizens of ECOWAS, then this is a classical case of ECOWAS sounding a loud voice, even sanctioning, giving some sanctions. It was, you see, when people have done coup d'etat and you attempt to mobilize an army to wage and needless war, and then somebody is doing something which is even more dangerous than the coup d'etat. And ECOWAS says, oh, by the way, it's even was a coup d'etat. The guy is stealing power. He's stealing the power. And ECOWAS keeps quiet. In fact, the silence of ECOWAS is so loud. And it was the same silence that happened in Senegal when Macky Sall attempted to change the constitution. You understand? ECOWAS, and he had to take the strong will of the people of Senegal to avert what in its essence was also a coup d'etat. Are you going to leave the poor people of Togo to fight this battle? Are you going to sit down for this dangerous precedent to be set? Especially in a sub-region where our propensity to copy is really high. Are you going to sit down and watch this? I think the obligation is on all of us. In our own small way, we come here, we condemn what is happening in Togo. We call on ECOWAS to, you know, I had a friend's mom called me and then he was complaining about the manner a lawyer was handling her case. I said, oh, lawyer was so, lawyer shake you. ECOWAS was so. It is a time for ECOWAS to was so. You understand? And let's protect the dignity, the liberties of the people of Togo. Because if we fail to do this, like Mike Riley said, a dangerous precedent has been set, which could be replicated and then be a ripple in Assab region, and we certainly don't need that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Piadanko. I want to hear from you as well. Let me know what your thoughts are. Like earlier stated, we are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and also, as you can see displayed on your screens, we have the numbers to send in your messages. You can send it via text or you can send it through WhatsApp. I'll be more than glad to receive it. But we proceed to our next topic for conversation. The president was at Dobro yesterday, and he made some comments with regards to the 2024 general elections. He's asked Ghanaians not to vote for John Dramani Mahama. I think it's very normal for the president to ask Ghanaians not to vote for the NDC and for John Mahama, of course, because he belongs to a certain political party. They have a candidate that they have presented, and the vice president, who is now the leader of the NPP, His Excellency Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia. But then, what he added to it, that if you vote for John Dramani Mahama, that would be tantamount to destroying his legacy. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's legacy. So do not vote for him. the NDC, I know, feels slighted by these comments of the of the president. I saw on the WhatsApp status of I think one person from the NDC. I've forgotten the person. He said yes, Mahama will destroy your legacy of nepotism. Mahama will destroy your legacy of corruption. He listed a number of things. So according to him, these are the legacies of, of the presidents that Mahama would come and destroy if voted into power. But Council, I'm starting with you on this conversation.
No. I agree.
He's moderating the show.
No, I'm starting with you.
He said he's ready.
Let him Council, let's go.
From the legal point. There's no legal.
What's different? Okay. I have thought that because you were talking about that Nanado is touting his legacy, it was right that the man that Nanado himself has tasked to defend his good works, or defend the legacy, and they will question the legacy anyway. But and no bagawaya. So he said Nanado said what?
Says he vote for Mahama, otherwise Mahama will come and destroy his legacy.
My friend here said, when we talk about Togo, that is Ghanaians, our Africans, we have a propensity of not wanting peace. We always want confusion. Because I can clearly see that, Kwekwadu, Nanado, William, he doesn't, he always wants to be in the news. You see, as to whether Ghanaians should vote for Mahama or not, that one is not for Nanado to say. He has his one vote, not so. I recall he went to tell the people of Kumasi that if they vote for whoever, it is none of his business. So he should leave Ghanaians to make that decision. So to say that we are going to vote for Alan John Kodo Chamantin as the next president of Ghana, and that is not Nanado's decision to make. So that's just by the way. Now, Nanado is also saying that we shouldn't vote for Mahama. Because when Mama comes, Mama will come and destroy his legacy. The question is, what is Nanado's legacy? You see, you can compare Nanado's legacy. He doesn't pay his KPIs. So the KPIs mean the KPIs as has been listed in the Constitution, and you can also list them against the KPIs as has been listed in their own MPP, in fact, Constitution. So in their Constitution they have 28 objectives. The reason why they formed the MPP became a political party, 28. 12 of those 28 has to do with their desire to sponsor a candidate and win power. The rest, the other 26, and then one has to do with the fact that they believe in a liberal democratic principles. You understand? So that's 25. And then the rest are specific policy-driven purposes. So about they believing that we need a very clean environment. They believe that private sector is the engine of growth, and that is a duty, is their aim, purpose, that a strong private sector is built, that the right economic environment is created for entrepreneurs to thrive. You understand? So you can make those, and you can also look at what it means to be a believer in the liberal democratic principles. Principles that believes in tolerance, principles that believe in those who are governed to be governed by the consent. So which means that when we are going for election, the party that they shouldn't go and share money, they should go and share weed. They shouldn't go and share weed. You understand? They shouldn't beat people up like Aga was beaten in the north. No, his eyes, he almost. So those are some of the principles that govern a party that believes in liberal democracy. And then we can also check what he said by the oath he took, oath of office, where he said that he was going to defend the Constitution of Ghana. He was going to be fair to all manner of people.
And protect the public purse.
Protect the public purse. And so when he said to be fair to all manner of people, then we ask ourselves, so when he went to a confi and said that I, Nanado, because he said in the address, so we should remember, that no project, no development will happen without his signing off. And he's taking a vow that he's going to be fair to all manner of people, irrespective of your race, of your tribe, of your religion, of your political party, because he understands that when we voted him into power, when he took that oath, he was not taking the oath as the leader of the NPP. He was taking that oath as the president, as the leader, as the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. That's the KPIs that we ought to test his legacy against. Now, one legacy which is so clear, and for me it's not even the worst, the worst expression of his legacy, but that's clear, is the state of the economy now. Yeah, I understand. And it would have been easy if the state of the economy, because as we've gone to IMF 17 times, but it's normal. But we've never had the experience where nobody, whether locally, internationally, believes in the value of government of Ghana government's bonds. And because we've been to IMF for 17 times, so really if you say he's going to IMF, well, Mama's went to IMF, Mills went to IMF, President Kofo went to HPAC, you understand? So we've been to IMF 17 times. So for me, really, and it's, as in, even in very strong economies, even American economy has tanked not just once, twice. But we've never had a situation where the public, be it local or international, has lost confidence in the economy of this country. To the extent that right now, if kind of government is saying that they are selling their bonds, people won't buy. People won't buy. So that's one legacy. He's led and managed an economy that has lost its credibility. That has lost its credibility. 2, per the records, what percentage of Ghanaians have been plunged into poverty right now? Because reports, as in was in excess of about 8 million. Who before Nanado came were not poor, but right now are poor, as in excess of 8 million, as in pay, and that can be cross-checked. But the point is, a massive number of Ghanaians have been plunged into poverty because of the Koshoko leadership Nanado has granted us. Now let's take the unemployment rate. Right now, to extend around, unemployment is a national security issue in Ghana right now. Unemployment is a national security issue. Now we know that now. How do you deal with unemployment? It is right that you deal with unemployment by empowering or create a system where you give massive institutional support, you do proper financial inclusion to small and medium scale enterprises, because that's where the jobs are created. That's where the jobs are created. So you go, so let's take India. Suddenly we can become a powerhouse in the global economy. They have a policy where, so government has used its monetary policy to say that, listen, when you are coming to renew your license of your bank, you prove to us that 20% of your loan portfolio was directed towards the SMEs. You take America under President Eisenhower after the Second World War. He created the Small Business Act, which created a small business agency. And what that agency did, and in fact they are still relevant now, is they give, beyond giving institutional support to small businesses in terms of helping them to structure their corporate governance, but also what we call loan guarantee schemes. Because we all know that it's quite onerous for these SMEs to have access to our banks, because they come with a number of the requirements, the banks, and so governments deliberately make policies to aid what's it called these SMEs. What has been this government's contribution to that? And then also, government in its monetary policy, you're talking about an interest rate in excess of 30%. Which business is going to survive? So in terms of the economy, there's no legacy to destroy, because we are on ground zero. There's no legacy to destroy. Now also, we know that it is per the objectives of the for leadership as per our constitution, that politically you give us true democracy. You understand? I say true democracy, democracy that is inclusive, democracy that is to the benefit of Ghanaians. Now, so when you the president, and then because of the very architecture of this country, because Ghana is essentially a country which is an amalgamation of about 4 countries, proud to just before 1957. Even if you go deeper, Ghana is an amalgamation of more than 50 ethnic groups. And so, if you're a good leader, one of your core focus will be to entrench the integration of the various people and various cultures. So, when under your watch, those very ridiculous and irresponsible statements that I won't bring development to you because you did not vote for my party. And he didn't say it once. He said it in Mepe. He said it in an interview on Peace FM to the chief in was it Anlo? He said it to.
No, that should be Aplau.
Aplau. He said it to. Ekunfi. He said in Ekunfi. He said it in AGYEKUM. He said in AGYEKUM to the extent that right now he's road minister. Asenswache, I never knew Asenswache could talk that way. Also says same. No, so Asenswache during the campaign in AGYEKUM also could open his mouth and that no independent can come and lobby him for roles. That's his legacy. That's his legacy. And does this legacy need distraction? Because he's taking us to ground zero. Now, let's take the confusion, the fight against corruption. The extent to which all the agencies that we created under our constitution, are running away from doing their job. The OSP, Yoko, the police. And this is like the power saga. And I can tell you that the confusion amongst them, the apparent running away from doing their job is because of the president's statement when this whole story broke. Because where we found this obscene amount of monies in a public officer's house. You understand? And it's right that when it comes to, beyond the corruption, when it comes to issues on money laundering, it's not just about you getting monies from unlawful activities. You understand? But also when you cannot account for your wealth or for some monies, then you are deemed to have obtained those monies. And you see, it's right. This confusion is because of the lack of leadership Nana-Addo showed in his response to the story breaking. You get a picture. Now we have a country right now where military men are just killed. You see, when you go to America and you are a military man, when you go everywhere, they clap for you. They hold their military in such high esteem. At least I've followed quite intently the Fourth Republican dispensation. I've seen, and never have I seen the amount of attacks to the extent that military men can be killed in front of the police station and nothing will happen, like happened to the military man. There's a massive breakdown of law and order in this country. Massive breakdown of law and order, where people, party apparatchiks, can go and haul a judge from a court, can have the cockroach audacity to haul an appointee of government from his office, who have the cockroach audacity. You understand? But they can do so because of the deficiency of leadership. Now let's talk about the partisanship issue. The extent to which our country has been divided beyond the ethnic divisions. But how our country has been divided on partisan lines, so that even though the president took an oath that I'm going to be fair to all manner of people, so now what that means is that whether you are an Ashanti, you are an Achem, you are from whichever tribe in Ghana, but most importantly, whether you are MPP, whether you are NDC, whether you are GCPP, whether you are Movement for Chafafranto, the president, because he's president not over his party but over Ghana, then he will not have those considerations in his mind when he is bringing about development. The president says that he won't develop a coffee because they didn't vote for his MP. Does that still not divide the country on partisan lines? Look at the evil he's meeting on our supposed neutral institutions like the EC, where the president of the land appoints people who are known to be sympathizers, in fact, in some cases members of certain political parties into the EC, into institutions from whom we demand neutrality. Is it not weakening those institutions? Is it not actually undermining our constitutional democracy? Because you see, the demand on the EC is not just to deliver elections which are free and fair, but to deliver elections which are perceived to be free and fair. So what means that you can deliver an election which is free and fair, but if the people do not believe or they perceive that really the elections are not free and fair only because the referees are perceived to belong to a certain political party, then what have you done? To the extent that last 2 weeks we were discussing the integrity of our judiciary. No, we were discussing it. Why? But because we have a president whose legacy is that he views leadership as positional. So I'm president of Ghana. So he can stand on podium and say that I am the president of. I've never seen that before. I am the president of Ghana. He can meet a chief and tell the chief, sorry. He can tell that to a chief. Undermining the synergy that exists between our local authority and our political authority. So, what legacy is he talking about here? Because right now, he's left a country that is broken. The country is not only broken in terms of the body, in terms of the economy, but the country is broken in terms of the soul and the spirit. Because he's degraded even the presidency, he's degraded the value set of this country. So what legacy is he talking about? I can tell you that the only reason why this constitutional democracy we have has not been undermined is because of the will, the commitment of the people of this country to the principles of democracy. Because after all, when you have a president who can stand in front of every Ghanaian and say, do so is over, he doesn't even respect truth. He doesn't even respect truth. He can tell he can tell Ghanaians. So there's this friend of mine who is a diehard MPP, who has shifted. He's left the party only because he couldn't believe that the president of Ghana can stand in front of all Ghanaians and tell us that doom so is finished when he has slept in darkness 2 days continuous. 2 days. See me, I'm careful not to mention the timetable. Not the last I mentioned the timetable. You know that for like 1 week. I had like for example about 48 hours for like 1 week. I said, are they punishing me because I dared to come and state my timetable here? No, listen, you see, I say this, that for some of us, we are not too crazy about this partisanship and that partisanship, this party and that party. What we want is leadership that will deliver the Ghana we all dream of, leadership that will deliver the promise of our taking upon ourselves or our decision as a country, you understand, to enter into a republican system. Yeah, understand. I'm not too crazy about. And so for me, if NDC would, I believe NDC gives a leader or brings a leader, I believe that Atanos was that leader. I don't care. Like MPP gave Ghana President Kufuor. You understand? It's not about the party, but it's about we having a leader who will give us the Ghana that we need. And Nanado has not been that leader. He sank us down. And in 2024, at the decision of Ghanaians, with the focus of restoring the promise of ensuring that Ghana rises again, that the Ghana that comes from my vision, the Ghana the whole world in 1957 so that represented the best evidence of what an African can do. That Ghana that Nanado has sunk to the lowest of lowest, that Ghana will rise again, and it's not up to him. Because left to him alone, we will sink further. That's why he wants us to choose Dr. Baumia. Now I don't want to say to Ghanaians, Abonsam Samna. You know Abonsam Samna? Do you know Abonsam Samna? Do you know Abonsam Samna? Do you know Abonsam Samna? In Kumasi, they used to call it, don't touch me. Touch me not. Because you see, my beautiful brown skin, if I touch Abonsam Samna, it will become white. My house will become Caucasian, my body will be black. That's what I don't want to start to Ghanaians. Because if he cared about this country, and he, beyond everybody else, knows that Dr. Bawumia is not competent enough to lead this country. It's not about first year anymore. That is not the burden. The burden is not about first year anymore. That is not the burden. The burden is restoring the hope of the people of Ghana in this system of governance that we've taken upon ourselves. It's in restoring the hope of the people of Ghana and the international community about the credibility of government of Ghana bonds. It's about restoring the belief in the humanity of leadership. That after all, we are one people. That doesn't matter whether you are Ashanti like I am, and Michael Egan, or you from you and away. That we are all one people, one black people, blessed by God to give evidence about what the black man can do. And that's to make a statement that one Kwame said that after all, the black man is capable of what? Of managing himself. That statement was true.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And Nana Ado's legacy is adverse to that dream. You understand? And so we wave bye to him, Nana Ado, because he has no legacy worth speaking about. But most importantly, we will put that Bosam Samna wants to sell to us, because we can't sing further, and make a decision to restore Ghana to Alan John Kudo Chimantin. And when we've done that, then Ghana, the black South Africa, will rise again.
Thank you very much. Very impassioned submission there coming from Council Andrew Appiah Dankwa. Before I proceed to my friend Manuel Daku, anyway, let me do a few messages that we've sent through Facebook. Maria Adams says, is it true that Nana Ado and Bawumia have sent troops again to Volta region during this registration? If this is true, then it is unacceptable and a mere intimidation to those people. This kind of intimidation is part of the legacy of Nana Ado Bawumia. Okay. Comensa Pilatu says, Dome Kwabinga constituency, your vote is your power. Go and register and vote for Dr. Bawumia for a better Ghana. Regards to lawyer Michael Kwe Jr., aka Gabo, our next MP for Dome Kwabinga constituency, and Honorable Yaya Kasim Ata, aka Kas, our next MP for Amasaman constituency. Comensa Pilatu sent this one. Maria Adam came back to say that most businesses are folding up because we have a failed government. Nana Ado, this is your legacy. Brother Kwesi says this MPP man is speaking. This MPP man is speaking this way because his party has not put forward any model like that of Togo. He was fully supported if Akufo-Addo begins anything funny like that. Hey, how can you conjecture like that? Baba Salifu Ajamboro says, we will worsen our situation when we make a mistake again to believe in the lives of Bawumia and vote for the MPP. Mahama is the best to rescue Ghana and Ghanaians. Regards to Honorable Evans Amochu Messi, incoming MP of Ijao Seche East constituency, and Professor Grace Ayensu Esikado Ketan constituency. Pedro Maldina says, watching you live and clear inside Indianapolis, Kumasi Town or so, Kesben Junction. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Mami Ifua Techiwa says Dr. Bawumia has made significant contributions to the economic landscape of Ghana through his expertise in finance and development. As a running mate of the MPP, his leadership embodies dedication, intellect, and a commitment to progress. His work showcases the potential for transformative change and inspires others to engage in constructive dialogue and action for a better future. Thank you so much for your message. Abubakar Sadiq says, now that Ghanaians are seeing the real nature of the MPP government and the activities and the activists, I was very surprised that His Excellency Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo is asking Ghanaians not to vote for John Mahama or else he will destroy his legacy. What is Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo's legacy? His legacy is leaving behind his legacy that he will be leaving behind is dictatorship, wickedness, looting Ghana and Ghanaians' resources, and rigging general elections in Ghana in favor of his MPP party, nothing else. David Noble says, good morning, blessed panelists. Did Nanado and MPP know that Ghanaians have rejected them since 2020 general elections when they lost 39 of their parliamentary seats? Even in his campaign message that time, he asked Ghanaians to vote for him. Boom, 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 boom. It's sad that Bawumia would be voted against massively by their own MPP bigwigs just to take the leadership from him for the next election. Nanado is afraid of JDM like a demon is afraid of the power of Jesus Christ. I'm David in Accra. Tom D. Tom says, Nanado is afraid that His Excellency JDM is coming to destroy his legacy of corruption, theft, japa, clearing officer, family and friends, state capture, and Achim Mafia cabal. Billy Bala says, what are the legacies Nanado is protecting? Is it the arrogancy, tribalism, disrespect to chiefs and elders, or Sewa Bruni private jets flying? Okay, right. Thank you for your message. Those of you who have sent via Facebook. Our Facebook stream, once again, is very active. Make sure you send in your messages. I'll read them. And also let me know where you are sending the messages from. Right. Let me now come to my good friend Manuel Dako to also listen to his submission on this topic.
Thank you very much, Koku. I'm very surprised that Council spoke about the issue of Titi Ladapa. I'm very, very shocked because under Alankojo Chairman, he was accused of taking monies and allocate seats to the president, which the NDC labeled as cash for seats.
I remember that.
Thank you. By then, the president stood in for Alankojo Chairman because he knew him. He knew that Kojo Chemate is not corrupt. So why did you see that wrong? No. Did you see that? Did you see that? No, I'm coming. I'm not asking to. So the thing is that did you see that wrong? Having money doesn't mean that you are corrupt. I don't know any laws of Ghana that insist that once you have money, you have to deposit those monies at the bank. I don't know. Even from the OSP's own report, he has indicated that after the investigation, he has found no corruption-related issue with Cecilia Dapai's case. So where from this corruption issue that my brother is talking about? Koku, secondly, my brother also spoke about the president swearing an oath and stating that he will be fair to all manner of people. Let me connect this to what the president said, that John Dramani Mahama, if voted as the next president of Ghana, would destroy his legacy. Koku, I don't know if any child, when any child gets admission to the senior high school, the child is being asked, what's your tribe? What's your political party? What's your ethnicity? Is there anything like that? That's being fair to all manner of people. I don't know if that 100 over 300 ambulances that currently we have across Ghana, when someone is sick and they need to go and pick the person up, they ask the person, are you an NDC? Are you an MPP? Are you a PNC? Are you a CPP? Whether they ask, from which ethnic group are you coming from? I don't know. Whether the over 150 and over 150 astroturfs, when players want to use the pitch, they are being asked, are you an NDC? Are you an MPP? Are you a CPP? Are you a PNC? I don't know. Whether the issuance of Ghana card, that started, the process started under Kufuor. John Dramani Mahama, as a president, wasn't able to implement such a policy. Under NPP, I don't know whether if you want to secure a Ghana card, you are being asked of your political affiliation, you are being asked of your ethnicity, you are being asked of your hometown. I don't know if there is anything like that. You can help me with it. Kwaku, is there anything like that? I don't know that currently the zipline drone system, if it's about to deliver medication to people, when the health facility calls the zip line, they ask them, is the person an MPP or an NDC? Is there anything like that, Kwaku? You can say that yes, this government hasn't been able to make all Ghanaians or every Ghanaian feel okay that, oh, we made all these promises. We've not been able to fulfill all. Accepted. And no government under the history of Ghana has been able to fulfill 100% of its manifesto promises. No government. If he knows, he can let me know. Kwaku, today, my brother is sitting here telling me that Nanado has no legacy. But you are touting your presidential candidate with one district, one factory. What did he do? Did he perform abysmal? Today, we have over 160 factories that are operating. And the whole ministry was spearheaded by Lankojo Chairmantin, then a member of the New Patriotic Party, and he was able to deliver. And it's in the name of the New Patriotic Party. You can't take it away from him. You can't take it away also from the party. So are you telling me that Nanado has no legacy? Even with one district, one factory. No government has been able to build over 160 factories. No government. From scratch, yes. We have some that are from scratch. This is how the one district, one factory is. Some are from scratch. Some are factories that has gone down. We have factories that have gone down. They are no more operational, or maybe they are. We have some that Happy Delight. Happy Delight, for example, their production went so low. We came in to assist them to come back to life. When we also have another sector, which is something like Kasapreko. Kasapreko has a factory in Greater Accra. They wanted to establish a branch in the Ashanti region. Therefore, they did that through one district, one factory. So the branch in Kumasi is through one district, one factory. The one in Accra is not one district, one factory. This is he can give you more details to that, because his flag bearer is the one who spearheaded all these things. Nanado is about to leave a legacy. He will be leaving very soon, and once he leaves the scene, Nanado legacy: one district, one factory, one village, one dam. We have astroturfs. We have free senior high schools that formerly the number that we normally educate is around 800,000. But today we have over 1.4 million students who are being educated for free. I always use myself as an example. Koku, I completed junior high school. Because of monetary issue, I wasn't able to go to school the year that I completed. I have to stay in the house, work for 1 year before going back to school. This is because I have passion for education. I wanted to proceed with my education. Someone might not get this opportunity. Therefore, the person ends his education at the junior high school level. Take someone like this guy. I've forgotten the name. Currently, I think he's in Brunei or so. Oh, I've forgotten this guy's name. He completed junior high school, wasn't having the funding to proceed to senior high school. I think from senior high school rather, he got 8. He wasn't having the funding to proceed to the university. The government came in and they helped him. Today he's excelling. Today, because of this government, when you want student loan, you no more need a guarantor. What you need is a Ghana card. Today, we can register our health insurance on our phones. We can renew on our phones. Today, we can buy ECG power on our phones. Today, based on digitization, Ghana has advanced. Today, Senate has saved millions of Ghana cedi because of Ghana card. Ghana card has been able to save so much money for this country. Today, when you are moving from abroad when you are in the UK, you are in the US, in any other country, you want to come back to Ghana, and your passport is missing. You just need your Ghana card. This is the legacy of another.
Is it true?
It's true. It's very true.
Those of you travel, I don't travel.
It's very true.
Outside the country.
If you are coming to your own country, you are entering your own country, and you say because you have Ghana card, it's an achievement. You are coming to your own country.
I'm coming over. John Dramani Mahama touted himself to build 20. He promised that he'll build 200 community day senior high school. Yeah. After his administration, he was able to build just 29. Out of the 29, from the data of Get
Fund, he was able to complete 29.
So how many? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he gave us 29.
He said he only built. I'm only saying that.
When you are not able to complete something, you are able to complete 29.
Yes.
So completing the 29, out of the 29, 23 was funded by World Bank, not government of Ghana. Free Bonto has been given to you. So are you telling me that even with that, John Dramani adds to his achievements? Are you telling me this is the first time that a school has been built? Is that so? Is it the first time that a school has been built? But with the Ghana card, it's a novelty. In our country, it's a novelty. I don't know whether there is any document that you can use to enter Ghana. It's a novelty. Listen, you can hate the man. He said, I'm saying, listen, aside your passport, is there any, aside your passport?
Yes, listen, you can use a travel certificate. But you are entering your own country. And you're talking, why don't you use Ghana card to go to somebody else's country?
Conclude for me.
You let him listen.
You can hate another Danko Akufo-Addo. You can twist and turn anything, the negatives, to not go in his favor. But you can't take away from him the good things that he has done. Koku, do you know that in 2019, Ghana's economy was the fastest growing economy in the world? Do you know that? Listen, you can say that, oh, the economy. And that was achieved just within 2 years. 2019. Yeah, 2019. To get that results. And I'm saying within just 2 years, you did that to get the results in 2019. No, when you say we did that 2 years, our administration started in 2017. Yes, that's right. The thing happened in 2019. Yes. The fastest growing economy.
So 2017, 2018, you used that 2 years to give us the fastest growing economy.
But what happened? What happened? Did you do anything?
No, I want to know. Let him conclude.
No, I want to.
You can address some of the things he said later.
No, the thing is, so what did you do? If you tell me that it was because of your IMF, go and check the record of IMF.
So I think the argument that the NDC makes is that if you claim to have done so much in making the country become the fastest growing economy in 2019. Yeah. How did we spiral so fast that in a space of 2 years, COVID-19 came and the fastest growing economy in the entire world literally became like one of the very worst in just a short space of time? What significantly must have gone wrong for that? For just that short period, for everything to just go down the drain like that?
Factor.
But
you know it.
Yes, I know about the COVID-19 Russia-Ukraine argument.
Even the president, the former president.
I know about that argument. But then also, some of these other economies who went touted to be the fastest growing in the world in 2019, they didn't spiral as fast as we did in 2021.
But Koku, do you know that even from if that's a concern, that what did we do?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question: do you know that from last year to this year, inflation has reduced from 53% to 23%?
It's around 25 point something now.
So let's take it even 25%.
Yeah.
From 53% to 25%.
Yeah.
What did the NDC do? Is it because of the IMF that they went in 2016? Listen, it's all these things. All these things need prudent measures. Good people in offices who will know how to put things in place to make sure that we achieve all these things. you can say that, oh, NDC did this, NDC, but when you check your own records from 2012 to 2015, from 2012 to 20, when you check NDC's record, there is nothing in there that speaks to the fact that they are the people who made sure that today we are here. No. We took office, we placed in measures, and today we move from a sinking economy to the fastest growing economy in 2019. COVID hit. Yes, we went down. But today, gradually we are coming up. Gradually we are coming up. Kwaku, I don't know whether when my brother was also making the summit, he mentioned something like unemployment rate. Kwaku, today we are having an unemployment rate of 14%, right? Do you know the unemployment rate in 2016? Do you know there is no data for that? Unemployment rate in 2016, there is no data for that. Unemployment rate in 2015 was 11.9, according to Ghana Labour Force report conducted by Ghana Statistical Service. But in 2016, I've set for it. Whenever NDC is making its submission, it mentions 8.4, according to Ghana Living Standard Survey. Kwaku, that Ghana Living Standard Survey was conducted between October 2016 to October 2017. So therefore, how can you tell me that that's the unemployment rate for 2016? So for 2016 itself, up to date, we don't know the unemployment rate of 2016. Kwaku, my brother also mentioned what's the government doing to help businesses. Kwaku, you know of GEA loans, the Ghana Enterprise Agency. You know that they are giving out loans for businesses to thrive, for youth to get some money to start up their own businesses. Kwaku, you know of Ghana Care Obatampa program, that the government pushed some money into so many businesses to make sure that they bounce back after the COVID-19. Kwaku, as I said earlier, listen, you can bastardize the legacies of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. You can say all sorts of things. You can say everything, but there is one that I can't take away from Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He is leaving a great legacy. I always say this. If there is a president, if Nkrumah is better than Nana Akufo-Addo, it's because he gained independence for Ghana. That's what I always say. Because you can mention...
So aside the independence, there's not... You think
no,
that
I'm saying that, yes. What's the name? Nkrumah did so much well. But if Nkrumah is greater than Akufo-Addo, it's because he gained independence for Ghana. Nkrumah did free senior high school, right? In the northern sector. That John Dramani Mahama himself enjoyed. He was attending Achimota School. But because of free senior high school, he left there and went to the north. Enjoyed free senior high school. But in the heat of the election, he told us that it's not possible. But today, across Ghana, every child is enjoying free senior high school. Coming to a Kofi, my brother made a statement that we've not done anything in Kofi.
I didn't say that. I said the president said that. The reason why he's not brought development there is because the president statement.
I know exactly what the president said. So he said that, I'm coming. The president said that they didn't re-elect
ACHIAA.
Yes.
No,
not ACHIAA.
Sometimes the surname is ACHIAA.
Yes, so they didn't re-elect ACHIAA. And so to be frank, in the president's words, I'm paraphrasing that, you know, he took his mind off the Kumfi because of that, because they didn't vote for an MPP member of parliament. He took his mind off the Kumfi. That's what he said.
So taking your mind off doesn't mean you've not done anything there. If so that I won't go through the things that the president has done in the Kumfi, because even one is the Kumfi factory. One is the Kumfi factory. If now we admit that he just took his eyes off, but a Kumfi pineapple factory. Yes. So if now we agree that the president didn't neglect a Kumfi, but just that he took his, because there could be that his focus was on the Kumfi, that I will have to make sure that things go, make sure that things go on well with the Kumfi. But because he didn't elect her, so then that means where should be done. I'll just mention some few things that the president has done in the Kumfi. Then I'll just leave the whole thing. Construction of school canteen at Otuom, JEA Male Senior High School. Supply and installation of electrical high voltage network materials. Construction of number 1 community center and paving of external grounds. Rehabilitation of 20-hectare degraded land using coconut trees at Asamine. Rehabilitate 25-hectare graded and using coconut trees as Esuasia. Construction of 20-hectare degraded land using coconut trees at Atakwa. Now I can go on and on. Reshaping of Otuom feeder roads and other towns. Now I can go on and on and on. But that is what I just want to say that, listen, the president has not neglected Ekumfi. He has done what he's supposed
he lied.
to. No, I'm saying no. I'm saying that he said he took his eyes off. Doesn't mean that he has neglected them. Right. No, that's what I want to say. Right. So Nana Akufo-Addo is leaving a great legacy that it will take, I don't know, but so many years, so many years before any other leader can come and offset.
Including Bawumia.
Oh, Bawumia will do his. Let's.
No, are you telling us that? Are you telling us that what Bawumia will come and do may not be up to?
No, with the achievement of Nana Akufo-Addo, which is level of achievement. Looking at what he has done within just 8 years,
it will be difficult for anybody
being able to complete abandoned project of Mills and Kufuor. Listen, this thing has never happened in the history of Ghana. What's that?
I even asked him to wrap up anyway.
So let me wrap up. Just as the stadium at Legon, since Kufuor, Bekwai Hospital, that started under Mills. He came in to complete, even though the funding was available. John Mahama wasn't able to complete it. When you go to Upper West, he made all these promises in the 2020 manifesto, but he wasn't able to fulfill them. But Upper West today, the Upper West Regional Hospital is their life and color because of Nana Akufo-Addo.
Right, thank you very much.
And I hope that Ghanaians will surely see what he has done, and inshallah in the next election, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Wamel will come out victorious through the good work of Nana Akufo-Addo.
Right, thank you, Manuel Darko, for that submission. Right, now let me come to Mr. Abe.
Thank you very much, Les. Quite interested, and you see, there is reality, and then there is, of course, propaganda. As we speak, and as others shout a litany of alleged achievement, the reality is that companies are shutting down from this country. That's the reality. Companies are folding up. Just Google. You see a number of them. Just Google. That's the reality. What does that mean? What that means is that the ordinary Ghanaian may be in the near future finding it difficult to make ends meet. Livelihood matters. Joblessness. That is what it means. And an investor or a company will decide to leave when the conditions are not right, to basically help their production. As we speak, you go on the streets, people are hungry, and people are angry. Indeed, one would say, what shows that people are hungry and angry? Check the survey reports. Go to CDD today. It will tell you the findings. Ghanaians and what they think of this government. What they think about the ability of this government to provide a public good. It's one thing to shout and say, we built, excuse me to say, this toilet here. it's another altogether to look at the governance around it, the political economy, the financial issues around it. In my view, President Akufo-Addo has, for the first time in the history of Ghana's republic, I mean, since Ghana's independence, given us the indicators that the ordinary voter can imagine, tick, to say, this is the president I would never wish for my country. For the first time, we have a twin challenge of democracy and economy. Economy in shambles, and I'll come to the specifics. Democracy, in terms of the quality, in recession as we speak. And you give birth to a child. The child lives in a society. The child is full of hope, full of aspirations, ambitions. The child needs an environment that would further that hope and ambition. It is necessarily not Akufo-Addo's government or Akufo-Addo's Ghana. You talk about free SHS. That when you go to free SHS, are you asked whether you are NDC or NPP? And you even erroneously, because perhaps it's been outlined to you when you go out there, say all these things. Sometimes my pain is young people become enablers of despotic and bad governance. That's my pain as a Ghanaian, as a young Ghanaian. That the youth of this country, whose future being thwarted in broad daylight, become enablers. And so you ask yourself, should I go to that tangent of we built a matchbox here, we did this here? I mean, Christ me. Who doesn't know in this country that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama talked about progressively free senior high school? Who doesn't know? No, who doesn't know? And what does that mean, progressively free senior high school? Unless, excuse me to say, you don't look at things deeply. First of all, you have social infrastructure deficit in your senior high school system. Social infrastructure deficit. Even as we sit, how many school buildings, blocks? As we speak. You see, we all witnessed what happened the first few years of the rushed implementation of the free SHS. We all saw that. That is even the physical component of the free SHS program. The major question is, what are our children learning? Bless, I don't know if you have a child, but you see, you are concerned as a parent that what is my child learning at school? When you say free SHS, we shouldn't reduce it to ration people into school buildings and say we've provided it free for them. Indeed, when we know that there are attendant costs, we know that. And I like to have meaningful conversations, not to be listing things and throwing them into the air. Unpack the free SHS program. People are still having the responsibility, parents, of attendant cost. That aside, there hasn't been any thinking in terms of the framing of the conscience of the ordinary free SHS student by way of what they learn, the curriculum. For votes,
So we begin to count these things. But let's come to the main headline. You see, when you say you have a legacy, and for that matter, Ghanaians shouldn't vote for His Excellency JDM, because when he comes, he's going to work against your achievement, your legacy. I don't know what the president means. And sometimes it makes me feel like, the easiest way to know what Ghanaians think on this statement by the president is to go on social media. The easiest way. And just go to the portals of the media houses who may have reported this news item and just read the comments. No NPP member is blocked from commenting. So it means they are free to comment. Go and read the comment. We've made governance a joke. And when I sit here as a young person and I ask myself, how there again another era such as this in the legacy candidate of Baomia? Clearly, I doubt that the ordinary Ghanaian on the street, based on the strugglings, the sufferings we are going through today, at least we know for sure that Mama didn't fill up the courts when he even had cause to. We know for sure that you just have to be filling the courts. And I agree with the viewer who sent the statement that it's because Nana Addo isn't doing what is happening or hasn't shown that he's going to do what happened in Togo. That's why perhaps Manuel is condemning Togo. Because, you see, you can have a military regime and you can have a democratic regime which consequences they bring forth are much worse than consequences you'd have seen in a military regime. We had elections in this country. 8 Ghanaians killed. In a democratic dispensation. This should be happening in a military regime. Any Ghanaian, whether NPP member, whether NPP communicator, or NDC, whatsoever, should condemn that act. But you shouldn't say because it's your party. And it's because we reduce governance to joke. It is why we laugh at such serious statement. And you see such demeanor even on the appointees. That arrogant posture. To hell with Ghanaians. We don't care. I mean, when you look at the findings, and you see, sometimes, and I think it's perhaps the case, Plato talked about the allegory of the cave, where clearly you can extract this whole theory on reality and appearance. Akufo-Addo's reality today is not the reality of the ordinary Ghanaian. Clearly. His reality today is clearly distinct from what Ghanaians go through on a daily basis. It is unprecedented that today, it has been the case, but today you have longer queues at the various embassies. The records are there. Young people wanting to flee out on a daily basis. This is the legacy we are talking about. At least the gentleman he's talking about, His Excellency JDM, will never instruct chiefs in a very demeaning manner because you're president. Meanwhile, you went to them when seeking for their votes. The gentleman you're talking about, at least as we speak, in terms of candor. And you see, when you would sit here and talk about AGYEKUM, for instance, and tell me he's done one or two, three things at AGYEKUM, and so let's disregard what he said. What we forget is this. He said this in public. Imagine what he would say in private. Imagine what he would say in private. And this is the candor I'm talking about. And this is the first gentleman of the land. The gentleman again you're talking about, His Excellency JDM, during his reign, Corruption Perception Index, his lowest is your best. Or the other way around, his best is your lowest. What Ghanaians think generally about corruption and how this government has enabled corruption. And yet you say that for these legacies you're leaving, that's even an insult to the conscience and integrity of the ordinary Ghanaian. That as a Ghanaian, I should not be able to decipher between the worst and the good, the better. It is you who will tell me that these are the variables I should look at. When clearly, when I look into my pocket, my brother, just the past 2 weeks, the number of calls, it's my personal experience. I don't know about you, the number of calls for support.
It's not easy.
And these are the indicators. These are Akufo-Addo's legacy. And you see, things do not just happen in vacuum. Unless you do not understand governance, public policy issues, and what have you. You implement policies that would inure to the well-being of the ordinary Ghanaian. You implement policies that would ensure that the welfare of Ghanaians basically are taken care of. And if, so it's just like, that again, interesting spectacle I always have on my mind, where the insurance candidate for His Excellency Akufo-Addo was caught in a fix and trying to explain his infamous exchange rate and the fundamentals of the economy. And now about saying that it doesn't mean that if the exchange rate...
Warped logic.
Yeah, he said it is warped logic to arrive at the conclusion.
You see, you can get the answer to what he said from the same video. The NPP political actors who were there and their facial expressions and demeanor, body posture. And you see, so that mindset of always wanting to throw things into, when as we speak, you go to Kolebu today, we still have issues of beds. Pregnant women go to labor. As we speak, that's the condition. Some even on the floor. You see, we vote for improvement. We vote for improvement. So if we still have such challenges in our system,
Right.
and you tell me you have a legacy, And for that matter, a gentleman who, in terms of, let's talk about social infrastructure. And you see, when a litany of something was built here, something, when you study development, every country or society and its stage of development, usually when you are at the foundational stage, the big things you think about are social infrastructure that will actually drive the developmental agenda. But when you sit here and you mention things that nowhere connect to that big social infrastructure we are talking about, look at Ghana's health sector today. In terms of the infrastructure that anchors the health sector. You think Akufo-Addo's name will be mentioned? We know whose name will be mentioned.
Right.
And the COVID that they use as excuse all the time. When COVID hit, what happened?
Today, my viewers came through. My viewers really came through with the messages.
No, just one.
I have a number of them.
No, just one legacy. I mean, you. Galamsey, the brown water.
Yeah.
brown water.
Right, I'm doing some messages from our WhatsApp. Julius Agahoa and Tahiru. So for the first time, I will agree with Nanado because John Mahama will destroy the Akufo-Addo legacy of corruption, the legacy of nepotism, the legacy of DDEP, the legacy of stealing, the legacy of looting, the legacy of Galamsey, the legacy of economic decay, the legacy of arrogance, the legacy of disrespecting chiefs, the legacy of family and friends, government, among others. Okay, thank you for your message. If NPP had worked, they wouldn't need to explain this much to break the 8. Clearly, when you take a very good look at the country objectively, you will understand that NPP has done more harm than good to this country, and anyone trying to defend them is either part of the mess or is genuinely ignorant about current happenings in the country. Abdul Mumin from Central University sent this one. Yes, Mahama will destroy Japa legacy. Why wouldn't Akufo-Addo be worried? Okay, thank you very much for your message. Ghanaians will speak to Mahama and Anna legacy come December 7, 2024. Thank you. It came from Mahama and Danny from Tamale. Please, all right. Thank you so much for your message. This one here says, good morning, Koku. Mr. President's afraid that Mahama will come and destroy his corruption, which is a negative legacy he is leaving. This we know. Savior from Wasai Kropon sent this one. Kipo, Elijah, the MPP man should be humbled. He should read paragraph 66 of Dr. Baumia's selfless, bold leadership lecture. He admitted 900,000 Ghanaian cards were issued as of 2016. He must tell us the growth rate of the industry sector. What is the unemployment rate? What is the effect of 1D, 1F then? He should read from the ports, the states of importation of basic commodities, a complete rationalization of issues, and administration of slogans. Okay, you didn't tell me your name and where you texted from. Hello, Koku. The Upper West Regional Hospital was completed in November 2016, but it took the MPP 3 years to just commission it under pressure by their Minister of Health. That young man should stop telling lies. George in Debugri from Wa. Good morning to the people of Wa. I miss you. Mr. Host, please ask the MPP man what he's talking about. He should stop confusing us. Mahama completed 49 e-blocks before leaving office. Secondly, Mahama started 120 e-blocks and left them at various stages of completion. Mr. Host, please kindly help me to educate the MPP man that free senior high school provides only 33% of the total cost and parents pay the remaining 67%. Good morning, Pan-African TV. The president's legacy includes corruption, state capture, family and friends, failed promises, even a promise to God. His legacy is one his vice president has distanced himself from. Suk Moses from Tamale. Thank you, Suk. Saint Joseph, Redem Macho Tabel, Mr. Abe, God bless you. The MPP man must keep quiet. Saleh Swale Al Hassan, please tell the MPP guy that in 2012, MPP manifesto, they also promised to build 350 SHS, but they built none. So if NDC is able to build 29 senior high schools, I believe they have done well. Swale Al Hassan from Sagnarigu, Kuku, Tamale. This one here says, My name is Johnny Kujo. Good morning, blessed. The MPP communicator is telling lies. There is no way Ghana was declared the fastest growing economy in the world in 2019. He has forgotten that it was in 2019 that our war started. He should check his records very well before coming out with fake information. Kekeli Sharif, concept is only these guys that MPP could produce and present to us. Ghana is in big trouble. Mami Ifuatechiwa, what is your proof that it's a private company? I think this was a response to someone. We have a number of messages this morning, so many of them. And I'm thoroughly convinced that whenever we have so many messages on the show, we've had a good show. Yes. Our time is up.
You should be bringing Mano.
Oh, no, I'll be bringing him. I've told him. Yesterday, he said, yesterday when I called him, he said, he's not really abreast with issues. I said, I'm confident in you.
No. Anyway, you let
I know.
You called the Sudan, and I said for the Sudan, and then with the EC.
Yeah. But
my point is that, you see, the challenge Nana Bamia has and every people have right now is that people are aware. Right now, it's like information is so
exactly. Just like John. It's true. Just like John. People are aware.
Because you were talking about the same issue. Yes. In time past, people would have known that rivers were brown.
Exactly. And people too are aware that John Dramani Mahama told us that infrastructure shouldn't be what we should base our vote on. He told us this in 2017. Therefore, I'm very shocked that, like my brother here,
who said that?
John Dramani said this in 2017 during the campaign.
Thank you very much, Councillor Apia Dankwa. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you, Mr. Abe. It's been a pleasure. It's been a very fruitful conversation. Like earlier stated, whenever we have plenty messages on the show, it means that we've had a good show. I want to thank you. Do have a pleasant day. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Truly African.